Oh yeah. Unale we pledge with love and loyalty to we sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as well for tomorrow. Now we go make salute.
Good morning, Salon, and from different partner radio station them. You dey listen live from Radio Shalom 89.5 na Koinadugu and Falaba District. On Radio Malen 88.5, Radio 1J 101.3 na Pujon District, Radio Collector 90.0 na Cambia, Radio Mua 105.5 na Kailau, Vopad Radio na Watalo, Voice of Sando na Kono District, Voice of Karine na Kamakwe on 98.0, Voice of Masoro na Pujon District. The program na Good Morning Salon, you can be part of by way I will send you message or comment to the number 077-981-981. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue.
We go and take with us insights. The assistant admin na the Variety Children and Family and Service na Kintom Rebecca Kalon don't ask government and so he ask organization them for supporting them with couple so that they go able to pay salary to workman them where they work at the orphanage home. Rebecca Kalon talked this inside one interview with Radio Democracy for away the Circus Brotherhood go give different food item them and learning material to the Variety Children and Families Service Home where all cost millions of euros. We reporter there May Jackson get more and go down report.
Inside August 2015, two brothers them where they live in the United States of America, they come together and set up the Variety Children and Family Service na Kintom, where na orphanage home, where they look after picking them where their mama and papa don't die, and picking them where their parents not get the upper hand for take care of them. And the reason why they set up this orphanage home now for give back to society. Since that time to now, this home don't they take care of different picking them from primary up to university. But one challenge where the Variety Children and Family Service don't they get now team them for take care of the picking them within at the orphanage home, as this home not they get support from government as way for give back to society. Make member then at the Caucus Brotherhood don't go donate different food item and learning material them. So picking them at the Variety Children and Family Service where all engineer cost millions of loans. Joe Boima Aliu, now the national coordinator for the Caucus Brotherhood, start for talk, but what's in the Caucus Brotherhood stand for?
Well, the Caucus Brotherhood is all day about togetherness. We are a combination of brothers there. We come up from all the four corners of Sierra Leone. We get brothers there from the north, from the south, from the east, and from the west. Basically, we come together, begin for seek real welfare and create love for one another. So over the years, we don't move from that aspect of just caring for ourselves. Now we extend that to communities that who think they are vulnerable and they actually need help.
Waiting at the different items them where they go donate to this orphanage home and the reason why they choose the Variety Children and Family Service, Joe Boima Ali explained.
This is not the first time we don't come here. This is not the second time. So when we 9th anniversary be reached, we don't decide say well we want for reach out to other communities then and we watch say picking them really not then at the future. And so we decide say well we will invest into them. Whatever little we get, we'll come and talk to them, share food with them, school materials, so that we'll be able to give them tips as to how they're able to make themselves very much important in society. So that's why we just identified the Variety Children's Home for being one of our key places that we'll be able to come, for able to give hope to them picking them, and for telling say nothing is lost. So we count today, we count school items, we count books, pencils, erasers, we count food items, we count rice, all the condiments in there. We count them and then we can share food with them as well, so that we all go share food together and then they feel belong. Then if we say everything is lost, so we come, we eat food together and then we share fun together.
Franklin Masakoy, now member of the Caucus Brotherhood, we get this advice for the picking them na this orphanage home.
The advice to again, una not keep bad friends. Paddy, they mislead a lot of people. Wanna go school, concentrate on where you go. Let Paddy not calling a corner say if you get one thing, no go school. Especially this still don't come in this country. Push. When they go push, when not get involved, when not get yourself. Anybody bring that talk, they to una can report out to una people. Because that's some of the way they know where you man in the poor, where you woman in the poor. And we know I'm on a poor, we are on a better.
This orphanage home. Now one way get plenty picking them from different sides them in the country, but what you don't beat and challenge so far Rebecca Calon, now the assistant admin, now the Variety Children and Family Service, been get this for say.
It's hard for me for run the whole because I have two brothers there. CEO when I Francis Lahai with his brother when I John Kande. Now the no more they struggle go up and down. They do everything. Would they really strain for bring up because if they see less privilege speaking, if they see that the community they ask when they see that the county school business door but the country. So if we not they go around for help they picking there, we not go get future leader for tomorrow. Now based on that, but would they really strain?
Apart from the feeding, salary, now other major challenge for workmen at this orphanage home, we make the assistant admin, Rebecca Calon, be make this appeal to government and sorry art organization them.
The second thing back, one way the money with staff salary, it's not easy for we. It's not easy for the father. For so who the staff down and the some of we now sacrifice more the sacrifice for local candle they pick it up because we don't let picking them. We they take great risks, so then we own resources there. With the EV cam for many things able make sense. Then if you talk to any humanitarian organization, either government, do you have they look into variety? Variety na fine program. It can for change life na some. Now that would they play on behalf of variety children. Do you have the help? We need help. We need help.
Rebecca Calon end up tell thank you to the Caucus Brotherhood for their support to the orphanage home and assure them say they go use the different item them for get to the picking them within the orphanage home for the Society for Radio Democracy. Adeyemi Jackson, the report.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue as we tell on today inside this edition of the program Good Morning Salon Radio Democracy. We'll look inside the process where the Tribunal Committee used for present the report to President Bio on the suspension get for do with Lara Taylor PSN in deputy. We get two gentlemen with two in the studio where they carry them point on this particular issue and I continue for day with we as now inside the program again they look at another issue. The Executive Director of Komon-Tok, John Coker, don't say the Village Development Committee, we government together with Komon-Tok don't go open a Sando Chiefdom inside Kono district, will make community people self begin for decide what they want for see happen at their own community. It talk this way be open the village community organization at this chiefdom. For more on this, let me listen to reporter Al-Aji Jallo.
Send back, the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, they set up the One Fambul framework as way for push development in a local community them. By way our community people themselves they champion their own development agenda. And then they do this by way how then they set up village development committee where go look inside different things them where the community need and self-promote peace between people them at the village. For sake of this, make the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, together with Komon-Tok, don't go pull the Village Development Committee na Sandon Chiefdom inside Kono District. But this, why this Chiefdom na this district? John Colker na the Executive Director of Komon-Tok.
There's so many projects them where they take to the villages them. But in most cases, we the one day we count the project, now we the designer. Now we take and go to the people and say, now this we count for UNA. So this program, they address that challenge. But say, no, not to you, they can't tell we what we want. Now we they sit together as a village, the village development committees, and get subcommittees them, and agree on what they want to do. We they say get a one-stop shop. So if na hospital, na the VDC, na them did it. If na agriculture, na then na the FBO. So the same structure, the same people within the village, and then go be in charge for development of the entire village. And then they go for coordinate the women, coordinate the youth input, make sure say whatever come in is properly utilized, and make sure say the people also own and protect whatever will come into the chiefdom.
With this, Sam Mohammed Sandi, when at the section chief na Fekia village inside Sandon Chiefdom, believe say he don't reach time for making people then turn them back by poverty.
We get secondary school now. All sides don't broke. Communication. But we're gonna hear before we get a network. Water. We don't get water now. The water well where they don't dry. But we're gonna then put go take water.
The number one mandate of any district council are for take development to the community through different programs them. Augustine Sasheku and the district council chairman na Kono district, he encourage community people for work with the council to make some of them problem them go be solved.
Well, we are aware of all of those challenges. Because we even don't go around, we do what you call needs assessment. And as I talk to you, we consolidate with findings, where we go validate, and then we will design a demand-driven plan where it will respond to their needs. So we can get the sectors and the districts
the one day we then develop to we education, health, agriculture, for them tell we what in the priorities what they want for rollout.
Alfred Moy Jamiru and the Deputy Minister for Local Government and Community Affairs, part of this launching in say community people for own them project here. So as in think say with this, then self go begin champion their own development.
This village development committee, where the one farm will they promote, I think say go good for. Now that I be make the state, I be asked the question, say if this kind here they happen at the village community, would that can gladly pass all the people they seen at the chief, not to so. Now because at the end of the day, the tension they go down and then they live at peace. Farm will talk they usually go not only to places that will get dispute, but also places that just where they need for make them able to come together, able to identify within that they own need and find ways as to how they will get support towards that particular need there. Because where they talk around just now, waiting they tell me, then they go 3-4 miles for get water for drink. I started to call the chairman of council. I said, now these people then say, oh, how now they address her? Now the chairman don't eyeball that one day, then they now forget that one day for work on her.
After all this, I meet and talk with some community people who be the part of this launching. We tell me what they make up of this.
My name Peter Fayabundo. Well, one for tell family talk plenty thank you because they encourage with this group to we because what will not be sabi, they don't make Kuro aware. Like one, during the war, something they may happen election where they may kill people and cause some man in hand, they kill some man in Peking before them. So they say okay, when this not happen after the war, Lord not talk to them people again because what they may do to them be bad something. But no can't tell you so today. Then people will not let them out. If we come to them back all be together because we are the same people, and if we do together, we're able to develop the communities. And then tell you say after this meeting, if we go to our village, then we form and communities and group them, we form executive and the communities them. For talk cases, then when they can happen to another village, then.
I'm name Masari. I did Samadu village. Who feel happy because don't can get some metal and today now. When don't say we know get the kind metal and so we feel happy for that. Like some that farm boot talk there. They were glad for that. I don't learn how to talk to me farm there. So I'm glad today why I can meet up that farm boot talk. Don't give me so many sense how for behave to me company. They how for attend the community. So how for the OT company. Then when I decide peace. So when I decide peace, inside on and go bring development. So then they are glad for that today.
This project now one way community people hope say go able change their life them as now themselves go day before for do development in them where they want for do and self champion peace na the community for the society for radio democracy. Me na Alaji Jalo the report.
Do you know you can transfer money by airtime and pay all your utility bills in just a minute? You can have access to your account anytime, anywhere. Welcome to the world of fast and easy. GT Wall. With the GT Wall, you can transfer money from one GT Co account to another, pay utility bills, get account statements, get airtime, and check your balance. With GT Wall, you can buy Exa anytime, anywhere. You can go to App Store or Play Store on your iPhone and Android devices, download the app, and enjoy. GT Co. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Me sweet papa sugar, mixed with banana. For bro, baby. The apple of my eyes.
Honey?
Yes, sweetie.
I go na Bread Avenue Academy na Joshua Junction, Wellington. I eat cake with them bakery. It make me lifelong.
I bet you say inside 6 months time. Myself go don sabi do them baking in day.
How that possible?
After I go don do me 6 months certificate and diploma course program pan baking, pastry and entrepreneurship.
After 6 months, you go don sabi bake just like Bread Avenue?
Yes, sweetie, from June 21 so till June 28. Bread Avenue Academy, they do free application for people who want to do baking, pastry and entrepreneurship.
Danny, who doesn't qualify? And also I will get this application because you know me, little sister. I will let yourself go there.
This is open to all man, as long as you don't pass 18 years and you don't sit your WAS exam. Who that get interest? Go take your application form na number 1 Pike Street, Freeton, na Sonoko House. and you no get for pay nothing.
Keep 9 lane. She no beats for ass. Baby girl, get me back. Me say I got that stars.
Well, the program Good Morning Salon they continue, and as we tell you earlier inside this edition of the program Good Morning Salon, Radio Democracy, they look at the process where the Tribunal Committee used for present the report to President Bio for Seka Lara Telopias issue. Well, for counsel on this particular issue, get two gentlemen they between at the studio, and at this time I welcome somebody from the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, Imran Sila. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, family on Audo.
Also, we get Abu Bakar Kamal, coordinator for BAN. As we all know, BAN are one of the civil society organization. We don't follow this particular issue and they get key concern them on this whole issue we get for do with the report. And then they follow this issue from the Terry government. We set up the committee inside November, but the committee not be start stay much in terms of the process for look inside the matter we get for do with the then Auditor General Layate Opias. Once more, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, family.
We see the whole issue about Lara Telopias in suspension, procedure and process. Now, one on don't follow, and on a still get concerned. The recent one gets on this particular issue, now the presentation of the report, also on the call on transparency on the report that for let the public know within the committee, if not, as I don't present this report to President Bio this BNTM. But before we go to the recent concern, tell we waiting on be why ban get key focus on this particular issue.
You know, on this issue, not to just ban, we also get a number of organizations them. We also get concerns, including number of civil unions them. If family can recall, when they suspend Auditor General, we get over 15 different press releases from over different organizations, both nationally and internationally. So it's not just ban. But if we look at now on the perspective of ban now budget advocacy network, we work mainly now around the budget process. And audit now the last stage of the budget process. So we're very much concerned because the office of the Auditor General now office we responsible to provide oversight on how people they use the country in copper. So we got great concern around that because it's about protecting the people's resources. It's about ensuring improved service delivery. It's about ensuring accountability on those one who then give you the responsibility for actually managing resources. So we get concerned from the onset of the process. We start and we make it public in collaboration with other like-minded organizations. We also get similar concern around the particular process.
So in terms of the whole process, when we get issue with, when we don't carry on a concern, they also want to say the whole process not start on time, delay, the issue of transparency. We mean say they tell you the whole process go to go on. I mean, people would get a chance for watch and see a live broadcast of the process. Then concern any be looked into.
You know, firstly, as an institution and as a coalition of other organizations, we include SLAG, we include 50/50, we include the Institute of Legal Research and Advocacy. From the onset, we condemn this act and
the act of waiting exactly
suspending the Auditor General, and we still stand by that point today. And then, secondly, there are a couple of things we don't happen on the way.
So now, why would not get objection on the suspension of the Auditor General?
There are a couple of reasons around that.
State them, please.
Number one, the audit now a public institution. We then get a responsibility, and as per the Constitution, as per the Public Financial Management Act, as per the Auditors Act, it clearly states in the course of doing the work, they're not for subject to any direction of any person or institution. And we don't see, in this case, especially the issue where they give evidence that the tribunal, we not the issue that the Auditor General for don't contact the office of the president for getting consent before they contact a third party. In this case, now hotels them in Lebanon, South Africa, and Gambia for authenticate receipts. And we go for no say that's not normal process in auditing. And auditing getting standards what did they use? So by that charge, they wouldn't government alleged 9 constitute breach of confidentiality and professional misconduct, we say and say now a way of directing or how they do the audit. The other issue we get on this is the transparency of the process, some part of it. For example, we see them suspend the Auditor General. After the suspension, and they tend to go to have a follow what the Constitution say. You know, I can always say we'll do mathematics as first degree. Like you say, look at the answer, then we'll do the working. The Constitution clearly states how they for suspend Auditor General, and we'll get legal experts will be expressed and clearly. We'll get institutional where they will be even come up with press release on that. For example, Carl, that there should be a complaint first from the party to the legal council, and the legal council look at them, then I then go recommend now for suspension. But of course, that process they not go that way. Now they don't suspend, and now they refer to the legal council. We also see, apart from the blanket charges of professional misconduct, then suspend now on the 11th of November 2021. Now only in June, then provide to the details of the suspension. We're really not fair enough. Over close to 8 months. I think that's in a way now this now the reason them we because they refer to as professional misconduct. We also see a number of delay in the process of conducting the hearings. But of course, we don't pass that stage now, and we see the hearing. We're in a public hearing where everybody will get access for participating in the public hearing, and we send representative from PIP to PIRIP. So we document all the process. And the family also say, upon all the allegations, then we be levied against Lava and Tamamo. Now only one issue they bring evidence in court for, when a breach of confidentiality and professional, and when are contacting third party without the consent of the one who did the audit. In this case, Auditor General and one of the deputy then contact a hotel for verify a receipt, a hotel receipt. And the charge against them now, they're not for them contact them hotels and they without the consent of office of the president who not then them with the audits by then. Now that's not the allegation of breach of confidentiality and professional misconduct, where the hearings look into details, we then take almost 2 years, 6 months for looking into that one allegations there.
So you they talk saying that hotels them where I like say the office of the president they use when they go overseas.
Now, in the course of audit, and there are audit standards. You know, they do the right audit law, then they write a jolly carry the right law. Me, shall that kind of way. There are audit standards. And the audit standard says if there is a suspected fraud, ISO 240, if there is suspected fraud, the auditor for the two things, and it says shall, number one, contact the third party directly. When a common practice in doing audit, compliance audit in this case. And mind you, the audit we then do now also preventing a compliance audit. The second one, then get also the right for contact a forensic audit expert. In this case, then contact the hotel for verify the receipts.
Whose hotel?
A hotel.
Where would they use?
A hotel where office of the president produce receipts in the course of the audit. So now that audit, now that receipt, they then contact a hotel in Lebanon, South Africa, and Gambia for verify the receipt. That act, based on the hearings and based on the allegation of government put, that act now constitutes breach of confidentiality and professional misconduct. When the hearing looked into details.
So you feel say because it involved the office of the president, now make you feel say because you don't talk about all the unconstitutional things that we government do for suspend la PS and deputy. You are if you feel saying that they make the target time, we make in suspension come up.
You know, we need to look at whether the office of the president or not. The Constitution clear about the role of Auditor General. The Public Financial Management Act, the Audit Service Act clear that they get right for audit all institutions and not what they don't start for them begin audit office of the president. So now normal practice for audit office of the president. And now a normal audit practice, if you get any suspected fraud, as I say, they get a standard way developed by NTOSI, when like the UN body of audit. That standard 9 then for follow. And in this case, 9 audit service will follow in terms of if there's a suspected fraud, therefore do 2 things. Contact the third party directly, in this case, then contact the hotel and directly for verify the receipts there.
You don't name all the flaws that were involved in this particular case will lead to the suspension of the Auditor General. What if it's a government for don't do differently, for deal with this particular case?
On one part,
yes,
government for don't suspend Auditor General for that particular act there, because they do their job as per the standards, whether they follow the international standards, and they do their job as per the Constitution, as per the PFM Act, and as per the Audit Service Act. So for we, government not for don't suspend Auditor General for that particular act there.
So you believe say this act go unbug accountability and our government institutions?
Absolutely. This is a very bad precedent with government set for suspend Auditor General in the course of doing a work. Now that make in the last call, we not when the panelists there with the wait for let the tribunal and tell we say guilty or not guilty. But as a matter of fact, it's a very bad precedent. It's going to undermine all this accountability in future. Already, public trust on audit don't they reduce? In terms of the public perception, we see quite recently the last audit report where there are no material threshold for bringing issues of office of the president, and we see how citizens react. Oh, now because of the office of the president, and the audit they don't fail because they don't suspend the part of the general. Would that not be the case? So now that acts all they bring them perception there. So it's not good for we audit accountability landscape in Salon.
A name na Abubakar Kamara, Coordinator, Budget Advocacy Network. Could you go for a short commercial break? Okay, we'll continue.
UTB, Union Trust Bank, the game changer don't come. As we the lead, others they follow. And just with your mobile phone, you go to and safety. UTB don't make it possible for collect money na ATM machine without the ATM card. Now that we call cardless ATM. You, the UTB customer, go send money to anybody and deposit and collect the money now any UTB ATM panel without any ATM card. All it can do now for just enter the reference code and collect the money. The UTB copper in safe day. With this UTB copper, any UTB customer can transfer copper with a mobile phone to anybody up to 5 billion loans. And with the reference code, the person can go to any UTB branch and collect the copper. Union Trust Bank, we there for you.
From that break, daily program, Good Morning Salon, they continue. We will bring this edition come to you this morning. May not up to you, Kalon.
I mean, I'm Michael Kakpindi Jamiru.
Inside this edition of the program, Good Morning Salon, we look at the tribunal report where the committee don't present to President Bill for sake of the suspension of the Auditor General, Lara Telopias. So far, we don't listen to Abubakar Kamara from BAN. I talk about concern with BAN and other civil society organizations and get. Now, inside the program, we go over to we other studio guests. On the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, Imran Sila. Before you, I believe so you don't get so many points where Mr. Kamara don't talk about. He talk about the standard procedure. He talk about on the person being suspended on November 11. The person not aware till the next year of June for saying that this reason make the suspend you. He talk about following the constitutional process on suspending such individual. So before we look at that, waiting from government angle, waiting on be look at we make on say that decision they wanna take for suspending then Auditor General na the right one. Waiting lead to that because people need to know why.
Well, I'll tell you plenty, thank you. And I think say it's necessary and important for we take remind them back to
yeah.
we think really be happy in the day. and within being guide His Excellency the President for taking decisions. And now we are guided by the Constitution of the Republic of Sierra Leone, the 1991 Constitution precisely. And if you go to section 137 and you read the portions 1 to 7, you will see say there's a threshold. There's nothing in the Constitution of the Republic where specifically they talk about how to remove the Auditor General. But what within the Constitution they provide guidance for, now for set the threshold. So section 137, 1 to 7, if you read them, now it set the threshold. Now within that threshold there, now the same threshold for remove a judge from courts and say you don't want her again for whatever reason. So we know say under section 1374, there are two provisions where they indicate how you get for remove any individual with the of a caliber of a judge at the Republic of Sierra Leone. One, now for inability for performing function due to either infirmity of mind or body. Second, now for stated misconduct. So if you read section 137 of the Constitution of the Republic, 1374 precisely, it gives then two instances then they under which you can remove a judge. So the same apply, that same threshold there, I apply for the Auditor General. So in the instance where there was a stated misconduct in terms of the manner and way in which they go about for doing jobs. So not only the Auditor General at the time, but also I think in deputy. We've been therefore set together, His Excellency the President, been therefore follow section 137 and ask for a tribunal, right? That tribunal, they ultimately been get the responsibility for look into their allegations then they. Now, as at that time there are other conversations that will be also happening. Let me say, oh, well, why the Auditor General, why they not be referring? I think let me say that the General Legal Counsel. The General Legal Counsel is provided for under section 140 of the Constitution of the Republic. Yeah, we basically they deal with judges, right, and the judiciary specifically. And so the Auditor General comes in by an appointment from His Excellency the President. It does not go through the General Legal Counsel, and so that threshold day, right, in terms of referring back to the General Legal Counsel does not apply in this instance because not to through down the right your own process happened. President makes an appointment, he goes to, she goes to Parliament, he or she goes to Parliament, approval by Parliament, you have a job. So once there's a stated misconduct for which there has to be an investigation, the Constitution also make provision under 137 and say you have once and set up the tribunal and the investigations then they begin, you be put aside, right? Whilst the investigations they go on, and when the investigations then conclude, 137 5B clearly states the reports, and he say after the conclusion of the tribunal, the work shall, the final report shall, and not say may. So lawyers would tell you that there's a difference. If any side you see in any portion, in any part of any law, whether it be the Constitution, Criminal Procedure, Courts Act, 1965, and all of them, there's a difference between shall and may. May means there has to be certain conditions. Shall, like compulsory elements. Yeah, it means it has to happen. So you say after the conclusion of its work, section 1375B, the reports and the facts thereof and its findings shall be presented to His Excellency the President. And whichever other recommendations then they would then come. So not to like any kind of which you will like say straightforward court matter, where then get for saying the matter of this, that it becomes public. No. It is mandatory now, a mandatory element under Section 137, 5B to be precise, that the report supposed to be presented to His Excellency. Now, another stop deal.
So, Imran, before we look at the recent one, we get for do this report where they don't present. Let's look a bit back, just like I said, see this whole process on the suspension of the Auditor General and Deputy. I mean, they set up a committee inside November, and the committee not start for sitting till March. When are some of the reasons of it so many delay them in this whole process? Because it clear say, I mean, much not be there on the Auditor General. So many things be done in haste for, I mean, prove a point. Why the delay and so many flaws on these all issues?
So, as at that time, I remember the press was invited to a press conference in Aguma building from the Director of Public Prosecution, Solicitor General, and I think the Attorney General said been inside that press conference there, because this same accusation being caught at a material point in time or at some periods in between.
Which accusation?
Say there was some delay, right?
Now, accusation on a fact.
Well, people been think say there was a delay, and they raised it up. And so the Office of the Attorney General been there for call a press conference for address some of the issues there. One of the things that we will find out at that same day was the fact that before the process starts, you obviously get for put together, right, the tribunal and then panel people there for look into this matter, right? And as at that time day, once you don't do that and put them together, the Auditor General and the others that will be involved and get for step aside. But then once the process in itself being start, we know say the Auditor General then be asked for permission for travel, both here and deputy. And there are instances where they did not send in representation because they were out of the jurisdiction. And no way, not the way they go through an investigation and for reach conclusion where if the individuals, they're not there, or the representative, you could go ahead. I mean, that's not a fair process. And so it was made quite clear during that press conference day that those were some of the reasons related to that. But
so aside that, the other thing is going to be involved this whole process will be stated to the public now that the whole process will be live broadcasted. We let people see say the process genuine, not a political witch hunt, or not to say like they depend on the auditor and the deputy for any personal reason, but based on waiting on beliefs in the right procedure. But then they also not be reflecting the process.
Well, I'm not be aware say the kind of conversation and they happen, or at least
the
if it
committee
happen,
states the mandate and how the process gets for go like, and that's now one.
or at least if it be happen, right, in order to my knowledge. But let's say this, right? I mean, my brother just don't talk, say, then witness the process right through. So meaning it was actually open, right? People will get interested in that matter. They had the opportunity and the ability for good and sit to them and assure that make able for say, now yeah, so publicly that, oh yes, I was part of it, will follow right through from start to finish. But I also say this, that presidents don't make commitment, and this government gets an overall commitment for transparency and accountability. But that the provision, well, just don't read 137.5b, now that the report supposed to be presented to His Excellency the President. It shall, not to me, shall. Once President don't go through right, and he get able for go through and digest the content, right, and whichever another recommendations they did. Presidents and this government obviously committed for make public. Their findings and they contained in the report. No two ways but that. May we just urge, I know say there's a sense of which I would like say anxiety based on which my brother they saying probably from the one way they follow this story also. But I go also urge let them hold their horses small, right? Stay calm. Right? This report and the findings could be made public, right? But that's the one that we put together the reports and sit through the tribunal. Don't follow the due process as provided for under 137. They don't present the report to His Excellency the President.
Will they come to the
once
report?
President go through them, they will definitely.
Will they come to the report
public.
later? Definitely. But when you start for talking, make one thing clear: misconduct. That's the way and manner how the Auditor General and Deputy will go about the whole process of auditing the office of the President. So make that clear to we listen and via them. When you talk about misconduct, in your words, you can describe what you mean.
Misconduct. So misconduct is what you could call a broad term, It can mean any number of things. We probably not consistent with what you would call within the office, the demand, and within the standards of that office day, within a sort of you could call the do's and don'ts of the office day. Right. So misconduct is a broad term.
But for this particular issue, we get for do the office of the president, within una your words, which una mean. Don't forget about the general definition of misconduct. Which una mean.
I mean, again, I'll go back to that broad definition there. Now, within the tribunal, we can get the opportunity for do, right? After you don't look at 1374. We talk about either inability for perform or for a stated misconduct. The tribunal now gets an opportunity for go through within now the issues there, within the stated misconduct, right, and put together a report and in findings where they don't submit to His Excellency the President. His Excellency the President, they can go through the report, and once you go through the report, they go make public then findings and they. But I also say, other processes than the way this report in itself will trigger. Yeah. So if you look at 1377, if per adventure or by any means, the finding this suggests
Imran, before we come to 137, I'll take you to the report also. Abraham, the urge for ask you if you don't see the report. Obviously, you must have seen it. How long it will take the president for peruse this report and make them public?
So as we speak, we know say His Excellency the President is out of the country, and he has been in the past 2-3 weeks. To be frank, he don't get overburdened with a number of issues, state issues. Last week, I should say all of una channels then be occupied with tripartite, right, and the outcome and all of them in there. So President is pretty busy, right, but he also spend time for go through this report. Now that make an urge for let me brother them and the public, let them stay calm. We don't commit to say once His Excellency the President go through the report and the findings, it will make public. Within them findings, then they look like. No two ways not about that. They were committed to a transparent process, right? And we feel say this meeting be happening today, for which a tribunal was put together, for which the investigations that happened, for which there's now a report contained in a report, then they within them findings and they look like will be made public. We know say a public interest matter, and definitely we not go fall short of within our expectations, not necessarily even the expectations of the public. But I also say, I've been to make one point, that if in that report day and in their findings then there's the suggestion or the recommendation say you get for now remove. I know they say na dan they do bambai to my lepos, you know, go misquote me.
No, not clue you give it.
The clue.
No, I just simply say the process in itself transparent. Now that the try to point out.
You think say
for everybody.
What's the view there we contrary to what you say?
For everybody, the process transparent. So if you get to that point where they say, okay, well, if we remove this person, it now means it has to be tabled now to Parliament under 1377.
Or if they say more, we for retain this person.
Yeah, no. So once if the findings then say for retain, it means as a matter of immediate urgency, that suspension will be don't happen, will be suspended, and the person will return back to work. If on the flip side, say now for removal, what it now means, you have another process to fulfill. President not get the powers for actually remove completely. So that report and in findings to be tabled to Parliament. And when you go Parliament, you know what you say? Just like the same requirement for pass for Poluna seditious libel or the death penalty, it may require 2/3 majority.
Why they say that to journalists? Say
No.
They affect everybody.
No. The reference point, right, in terms of the threshold now, a 2/3 majority. So it now means if you ever get to Parliament, you get for require 2/3 majority. So not to the president ultimately get for take them decision. And then they don't happen throughout the process.
Well, that's now Imran Silla from the Ministry of Information and Civic Education.